Some lessons don't arrive when you want them. They arrive when you're finally quiet enough to hear them. And by then, you've already changed. Life doesn't teach loudly. It teaches through repetition, through endings you didn't expect, through silence that forces reflection, through moments where something inside you realizes you can't go back to who you were before. This video is not about motivation. It's about clarity. Most people don't learn these truths late because they are hidden. They learn them late because they are uncomfortable. Comfort protects familiar stories. Stories protect identity. And identity resists change, even when change is necessary. So life repeats the same lesson in different forms, different people, different situations, different endings, until recognition happens. And recognition is rarely dramatic. It feels quiet, but it reorganizes everything. Most people don't struggle because life is hard. They struggle because they misunderstand what life is asking from them. Stoicism was never about avoiding pain. It was about understanding it, seeing patterns, recognizing what is yours to carry and what never was. So these are not dramatic lessons. They are quiet ones. The kind that shift perspective slowly, until one day everything looks different. Truth number one: not everyone who understands you is meant to stay. Understanding creates connection, but connection does not promise permanence. Some people enter your life to reflect a version of you that needed to be seen. They help you recognize something. They help you grow, and then their role ends. Meaningful does not always mean lasting. That distinction is one of the hardest emotional adjustments in adulthood. Truth number two: closure is rarely given. It is created. We expect explanations. We expect conversations that make things make sense. But most endings are incomplete. Waiting for closure keeps you emotionally paused. Creating closure allows movement. Closure is the moment you stop asking why and start choosing forward. Truth number three: effort does not control timing. You can be ready and still wait. You can work hard and still feel unseen. You can do everything right and progress can remain invisible. Effort is within your control. Timing is not. This truth is frustrating until it becomes freeing. Because once you accept it, you stop measuring yourself against pace. Truth number four: silence changes dynamics before it changes outcomes. When you explain less, people observe more. When you react less, tension shifts. When you stop trying to convince, presence becomes visible. Silence is not withdrawal. It is stability without performance, and stability creates influence. Truth number five: being liked is expensive. It often costs honesty. It costs boundaries. It costs the version of you that wanted to keep peace at any price. Approval feels safe in the moment, but long-term, it creates exhaustion. Because performing acceptance slowly disconnects you from yourself. Truth number six: peace often looks like emptiness before it feels like freedom. Growth removes noise. It removes dynamics that were familiar but misaligned. It removes conversations that existed out of habit rather than connection. And what remains is quiet. Many people misinterpret that quiet as loss, when it is actually space. Truth number 7. People remember emotional consistency more than impressive moments. Intensity is memorable, but consistency builds trust. Calm responses, steady behavior, predictable integrity over time. Presence shapes perception more than words ever could. Truth number 8. Growth requires disappointing someone. Sometimes others, sometimes yourself, sometimes the expectations that once defined you. Growth changes priorities, and changing priorities shifts relationships. Disappointment is often a byproduct of clarity. Truth number 9. Clarity often arrives after something ends. Loss removes negotiation. It removes denial. It removes the stories we tell to avoid seeing what was already visible. Painful moments carry precision. They reveal what comfort hides. Truth number 10. Boundaries reveal dynamics. They don't create them. Most relationships feel smooth when limits are absent, because expectations remain predictable. The moment boundaries appear, reactions reveal truth. Boundaries are not conflict, they are information. And information creates clarity. And this is where things begin to shift. Because awareness is comfortable in theory, but responsibility is uncomfortable in practice. Seeing patterns removes excuses, and once excuses disappear, choice becomes visible. Truth number 11. You cannot control perception. You can control intention. You can control effort. You can control behavior. But perception lives inside other people's stories. Trying to manage perception creates performance, and performance creates exhaustion. Stoicism redirects attention away from image and back toward character. Character is slower, but it is stable. Truth number 12. Emotional maturity is the pause. Not suppression, not silence out of fear. The pause between feeling and reaction. The moment where awareness interrupts impulse. Most conflict happens where pause is missing, and most growth happens when pause appears. Truth number 13. Urgency is often constructed, not real. We rush replies. We rush decisions. We rush timelines that were never true deadlines. Urgency narrows thinking. Narrow thinking creates choices that require repair later. Slowness is not delay. It is accuracy. Truth number 14. Standards are taught through repetition, not declarations, patterns. What you tolerate becomes expectation. What you overlook becomes permission. What you repeat becomes your environment. People learn your standards from consistency, not explanation. Truth number 15. Confidence is accumulated proof. Belief may begin the process, but proof sustains it. Kept promises, finished difficult things. Showing up when avoidance felt easier. Confidence is familiarity with yourself. Truth number 16. Comparison removes context. You compare visible outcomes with invisible struggle. You compare pace without knowing cost. You compare direction without knowing intention. Comparison creates pressure detached from reality. Clarity restores context. Truth number 17. Energy determines experience. Time is constant. Energy is variable. Two identical days can feel completely different depending on attention, capacity, and emotional load. Protecting energy is not selfish. It is strategic. Truth number 18. Emotions are information before they are expression. They signal misalignment, fatigue, fear, attachment. Immediate reaction hands control to emotion. Observation restores authorship. Emotional discipline is quiet authority. Truth number 19. Identity is built through repetition long before results appear. Routine feels insignificant while it is shaping you. Small decisions feel invisible while they are defining you. But repetition is where stability forms, and stability is what makes growth sustainable. Truth number 20. Outgrowing something is recognition. Environments serve chapters. Roles serve phases. Expectations serve versions of you that no longer exist. Leaving alignment that expired is honesty, not rejection. And this is the moment many people avoid. Because clarity removes distraction, it removes excuses. It removes the comfort of not knowing. Once you see a pattern, responsibility appears. And responsibility changes how you move. Not instantly, but permanently. Truth number 21. Silence exposes patterns. Without noise, you notice where energy leaks, where avoidance lives, where truth has been delayed. Silence is not emptiness, it is visibility. Truth number 22. Most people are focused on themselves. This reduces pressure immediately. You are not being observed constantly. You are not being evaluated as intensely as your mind suggests. Self-consciousness exaggerates attention. Reality distributes it. Freedom begins when internal observation softens. Truth number 23. Control is smaller than expected, but powerful. You cannot control outcomes. You cannot control timing. You cannot control other people. What you can control: direction, effort, standards, response. Stoicism is precision inside limitation. Truth number 24. Avoidance compounds emotional weight. Delayed conversations grow heavier. Postponed decisions create background tension. Ignored truths surface as anxiety. Avoidance trades short-term relief for long-term pressure. Facing things early reduces emotional cost. Truth number 25. Self-respect is practiced, not declared. It lives in small moments. Leaving sooner, explaining less, keeping promises no one tracks, choosing alignment without announcement. Self-respect is identity in action. And identity changes everything quietly. If awareness changes how you see, and responsibility changes how you act, perspective changes how you live. Because perspective reduces resistance, not by removing difficulty, but by removing confusion. Truth number 26. You do not need certainty to begin. Waiting for clarity delays movement. Movement creates clarity. Direction is discovered through action, not preparation alone. Truth number 27. Discomfort often signals expansion. Your nervous system prefers familiarity, even when familiarity limits you. New boundaries feel unnatural. New standards feel unstable. New decisions feel uncertain. Discomfort is frequently evidence of change, not danger. Truth number 28. Insight does not create change without interruption. Understanding patterns is awareness. Interrupting patterns is transformation. Different choices create different outcomes. Without interruption, awareness becomes repetition. Truth number 29. Understanding reduces emotional weight. Many people act from what they know, not what they intend. This does not justify harm, but it reduces the burden of interpretation. Not everything requires resentment to be released. Truth number 30. Your self-relationship defines external experience. Internal dialogue becomes external tolerance. Internal standards become relational standards. How you treat yourself quietly sets the tone for everything else. Truth number 31. Major transitions rarely feel like readiness. They feel like uncertainty, incomplete information, uncomfortable movement. Readiness is often recognized only after you move through it. Truth number 32. Acceptance is efficiency, not giving up, not indifference. Acceptance is the moment energy stops arguing with reality, and energy becomes available again. Truth number 33. Consistency reshapes identity. Intensity creates momentum. Consistency creates reliability. Small actions repeated long enough become self-trust. Truth number 34. Alignment cannot be forced. People cannot be forced into understanding. Timing cannot be pressured into acceleration. Environments cannot be forced to match growth. Alignment is recognized through ease, not effort. Truth number 35. Attention creates narrative. What you revisit repeatedly becomes your story. What you focus on expands emotionally. Protecting attention protects mental space, and mental space protects clarity. Truth number 36. Some answers require time, not analysis. Certain realizations arrive through experience unfolding, not through thinking harder. Patience is movement without panic. Truth number 37. You are not late. This belief creates urgency without direction. It compresses growth into pressure. There is no universal timeline, only trajectory. Truth number 38. Peace is constructed through boundaries, through clarity, through repeated decisions that reduce internal conflict. Peace is maintenance, not discovery. Truth number 39. Life contains more continuation than rival. Maintaining habits, maintaining relationships, maintaining perspective. Understanding this replaces frustration with steadiness. Truth number 40. Change begins with what you stop tolerating. Less noise, less explanation, less misalignment, less negotiation with what is already clear. Removal creates space. Space allows alignment. What changes after clarity is rarely visible from the outside. Your life may look similar, Your routines may remain the same, but your relationship to experience shifts. You interpret less personally. You react less urgently. You invest energy more intentionally. And that internal shift changes trajectory long before it changes outcomes. And this is where everything connects, not as rules, but as recognition. Life changes less through dramatic insight and more through repeated perspective. You begin to notice sooner, respond slower, choose more intentionally, leave earlier, stay where alignment exists. Stoicism is not emotional distance. It is emotional clarity. The ability to experience difficulty without turning it into identity. To accept limits without abandoning effort. To move through uncertainty without constant resistance. Many of these truths feel obvious when spoken, but they are rarely obvious while living. That is why life repeats them, quietly, consistently, until something inside you stabilizes. You explain less, react less, carry less. Not because the world changed, but because perception did. Clarity reduces unnecessary suffering. Clarity reduces confusion. Clarity directs energy. And most people are not lacking effort. They are lacking clarity. If something in this video felt familiar, it is because something you already knew finally had language. And language creates recognition. Recognition creates change, quietly, but permanently. And that quiet shift is what most people spend years searching for. Not intensity, not dramatic transformation, but steadiness. Steadiness in response. Steadiness in standards. Steadiness in what you no longer chase. Because the strongest mind simplifies. If any part of this felt uncomfortable, it is likely because something is evolving. Growth is rarely loud. Clarity is rarely dramatic. But both are irreversible once seen. So move forward with less urgency, less comparison, less explanation, and more awareness, more intention, more quiet strength. Because life does not become easier. You become clearer, and clarity changes everything. If this perspective helped you see something clearly, stay. We build clarity here. Welcome to Stoic Havenway.